Okay folks, this is another episode of Panda Outdoors and 4x4s. Okay, so in this episode, what we're going to do is the first part of the pajero build. Okay, so wheels and tyres, that's our first key. We're doing away with the 15s and we're going to put a set of 16s. We did have 4 16-inch alloys, so that saves Andy on the wheels. Andy bought these tyres. These are called EcoVision mud terrains. I will post a picture up, or I will put a picture up just after this of the label of the tyre so you can read it. It's the VI, I think, -186 mud terrain tyre. Andy's read some reviews, and mainly from Australia, seem to be coming back a good tyre. So first of all, what we're going to do is I'm going to fit these today at my workshop. Okay, you might notice the logo is very similar. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fit these to the wheels. Going to give the rim a nice clean up using a wire brush, and then I'm going to put some special bead sealer on it just to help bind to the tyre when you're off-roading. And then what I'll do is I will lubricate all around the rim to help it fit and replace the valve. Then later on in the video, I'm going to pile these into the back of the van. We're going to shoot down the farm, and then I'm going to fit them to the Mitsubishi when we're at the farm. So I'll bring you along. You can watch me fit the tyres. It might interest you, it might not. And then you'll see me putting them on at the farm, and we'll test drive it down the meadow. See how different it handles and it feels with having a set of good tyres on instead of the slicks that's on it now. So stay tuned for this video and I'll bring you back. Okay, so as you can see now, this is the wheel. Okay, it has been used off-road before, but it's still in good condition. What we're going to do, we're just going to take a drill with a wire brush on it, just clean up all along the edge of the rim. Okay, so first thing we do, I clamp the machine to make sure the wheel's going nowhere. Okay, then I'll just get my drill. Again, like I always use, DeWalt, just an 18-volt DeWalt drill with a wire brush in it, and all I'm going to do is just take away any debris from around the wheel. So I've done the bottom one now, it's all nice and smooth. Just check with my finger, it is all nice and smooth. Now I'm going to move on to the top one. Again, just position the drill so the wire wheel is touching the top of the part of the rim. Okay, so now just check all the way around, that's all nice and clean. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to replace the valve. Okay, the valve's dead easy. Okay, you get a valve puller tool, just like this, and a new valve. What we're going to do, I'm going to cut the old valve out. Nice and simple. Okay, if you're doing it on nice new wheels, you cut it out with a knife and stuff like that, but these are just a set of old rims that are going on an off-roader, so don't have to be too careful. So what I'm going to do is just cut the bottom of the valve off. Okay, and then literally pair the cutters and just pull the valve out. Nice and simple, just like that. Okay, then to replace it, new valve, I'm going to unscrew the dust cap, keep hold of the dust cap so put it somewhere safe, and then literally going to pop it through the hole. First of all, actually, what I should do is give it a little wire brush, say where it's going, just to make sure there's no grime or grit. And then giving there just a nice little wipe, just drop my drill. Okay, and then again, screw this on. Screw it on, and then all you do, this has little notches in, you just pull down, just like that. Give it a little wiggle, make sure it's seated correct, and then just literally unscrew it. Then what I do is put the dust cap back on, just like that. Make sure you know where the dust cap is. Them tools are now finished with. Okay, so it's as easy as that when you clean up the rim and changing the valve. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to bead seal it around the tyre. Okay, so I'm going to use this stuff. Okay, this is just literally like a liquid rubber, as I call it, a bead sealer. It's just going to help with any little divots or whatever in the rim, and also when you're off-roading, gives the tyre a better seat on the rim. Okay, so again, bit of a messy job, but as well, this is also good if anyone's into quads or anything like that. This is also good for that. Okay, so again, as you can see, and you just paint it around the rim, nice and simple. Little dip in and paint it all the way around the rim to make sure you get a good seal on it. Okay, so that is done all the way around, and then again moving on to the top and move it all the way around. Making sure you get all the surface area, and that is done. Simple as that. That just gives this an extra bit of added protection when you're off-roading, so the rim doesn't get any crap between the rim and the tyre. It's not guaranteed, it still will, but I just put on as a little addition. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to roll the tyre over, okay, lift it up, and then what we want to do is you, as I said before, we want to soap up and lubricate all this area so it goes on nice and easy. Okay, and what we use for that is just some tyre soap. You could use fairy liquid watered down, that'll be fine as well, but what you want to use is tyre soap. Okay, so again, just on a brush like that, and then all we do is we go around the outside, and then we do the inside of the rim as well. So we do both sides. So I'm going to do the outside. So I'm going to do the outside, and then I'm going to do the inside. Okay, so we're getting the, so when it is moving around the machine, it's not going to grip up, grab, or tear or anything like that. Okay, so then what I do, check there's no rotations or anything like that, which I know there's not, but you have a little look. Then lay it onto the wheel, onto the wheel on the machine, and then tie it on top of the wheel. Then I'm going to bring the head of the machine forward. Then all I'm going to do is adjust it, so it's just sitting off it. Okay, and then what I want to do is on the head of the machine, I want to get the tyre in between the head, in between the top of the head and the bottom of the head, so it slides on. I will get a better angle at that in a second, and show you that at the end of this little section. Okay, and then all I do, apply a little bit of pressure and push the tyre around. Okay, simple as that. Then again, do the same. I want the tyre sitting above on this one and underneath on the other side. Okay, again, applying a little bit of pressure. You want the valve to be at about a 4-5 o'clock, so you don't catch the valve when it goes on. Okay, so I'm going to let the valve go round. Now I apply a bit of pressure. Okay, apply a little bit of pressure. If it gets stuck, just back off, readjust, and go again. Okay, and it is simple as that. Okay, so that is the tyre fitted. Okay, for anyone who's still a bit dubious why there's no inner tube in it, new tyres nowadays, they don't need inner tube. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the valve cap off. Okay, with these I can tell these will blow up very easy. I won't need to take the valve out. I know some of the off-road tyres you've got to use brake cleaner in. These ones we should be fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get my tyre inflator. Again, pop it on the valve. Okay, so it's on the valve. And then stand back a little bit and then just blow it up to the pressure that you want. I'm going to put about 38 psi in these, and then we can drop them down when we are off-roading. But for road driving in the Pajero, I think 38 psi is a good pressure. If you have them too low, the grip will grip to the road too much and cause extra strain on your other elements of your vehicle, like your power steering and stuff like that. As I say, I'm no expert, that's just my opinion and from what I've learned going off-road in the past 3 years. Okay, so dust cap back on. And we are done. Okay, before you stop what you're doing, just check around to make sure it is seated correctly onto the bead of the tyre. The tyre is seated correct. The tyre bead is seated correctly with the wheel. Sorry, so I'm just having a little look around, make sure it's all on. And then what you want to do, last thing, is remove the sticker, because again, the stickers can be very dangerous, especially if you just fit these and go out in the rain. You slam on, you'll skid and crash. Okay, so I'm going to show you a bit now of a different view of us fitting the next tyre, and then I'll bring you back when we're loading them into the van, ready to take them down the farm. I hope you're enjoying this video so far. Something a little bit different, and all part of the pajero. Okay, so as you've seen in the video just before, was me fitting the wheels. What you haven't seen is I actually took the wheels up to the Jeep, up to the farm, went to fit them. What we've learned is Nissan Tiranos, you can fit Mitsubishi Shogun L200 wheels onto a Nissan Tirano, but Tirano wheels won't fit on the L200, on the Pajero, onto the Mitsubishi, because the hub in the middle is a different size. So what we've had to do is I've had to bring them back, and I've had to go and buy a new set of wheels. Okay, so I've had to go and buy Shogun wheels to fit this. So what I'm going to do now is, it's the same process, so you've seen me fitting the tyres and stuff like that. So what I'm going to show you now is, in this video, Andy's brought the Jeep down. As you can see, the Jeep's just behind me. So Andy's brought the Pajero down. So again, this is step one of the build, wheels and tyres. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to set up the tripod. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you me jacking the vehicle up, taking the wheel off, refitting the new wheel and torquing it up to the correct torque setting. Okay, so when we've done a bit of Googling, it says it's between 110 and 120 Newton meters. So when I torque them up, I'm going to go the higher end. Okay, I'm going to do it at 120 Newton meters. So we will be using a torque wrench. Okay, so I hope you're enjoying this little video on the wheels and tyres side of it. The next thing we're going to be looking at is trying to fix the lights on it, because they work now, but the relay still makes funny noises. So we want to fix the relay, and we are going to fit a reverse light on the back. So when you put it in reverse, there'll be an LED light that lights up behind the vehicle. So that's going to be part two. But part one, we're going to crack on with the tyres. Okay, so we're going to pop the tripod down, we're going to get the jack out and some of the tools, and we'll get these wheels on the vehicle, and we'll bring you along for the ride. What I am going to do though as well, is I'm going to talk you through how to fit one wheel, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the camera up over the other side on a little time lapse, and you'll see Andy fitting the other two wheels, and I'm just there observing and watching him. Okay, bring us back now. Camera's all set up. I'm going to change the back wheel. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through how to do it, and then I'll put it on a time lapse, and you'll watch Andy go around and put the rest of them on. So things that you're going to need: 21mm socket and some sort of bar. So ideally you want like a strong arm or a cracker bar. This is just torque wrench, okay, but you get the gist. Some sort of nice bar with the good length to get it off, to crack the nuts off. I'm going to cheat. I'm just going to use my battery gun to get it off. Okay, if you're using your bottle jack, you're going to put it on the chassis. Again, I'm using a 3-ton trolley jack, so I know it's going nowhere. Before you do it, check the chassis. So jack, the place you're going to jack it up on the chassis, on these older vehicles, you can jack it up straight on the chassis. Check the chassis first that there's no rot or corrosion. So give it a good knock, feel it before you jack it up. Okay, because this is a big vehicle and it's got a lot of travel in the suspension, I'm going to have to use a block of wood on our jack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jack it up a little bit, and then all I'm going to do now is slide the block of wood in between a gap onto the chassis, and then I'm just going to jack up the block of wood onto the chassis, and then just proceed to jacking it up, and that will give me enough leverage to get the back wheel off the floor. So I'm just going to stand up so I can get more leverage. So as you can see, the back wheel slowly lifting off the floor. just give it a little shake test so you know it is okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my battery gun and whip these wheels off nice and quick. Little knock, and now that wheel is off. All I'm going to do, roll it out the way and bring the new wheel over. So again, line all the holes up and then just lift it up. They are a little bit heavy, these wheels. Okay, so what you want to do is, I like to get one wheel nut on first and tighten that up so it's supporting the wheel. Okay, so what we're going to do now, Andy's just going to bring the camera in. Okay, so I'm going to put the nuts on. Okay, so when you're tightening your wheel nuts up, what you want to do is go opposites. Okay, so I've tightened this one up first, I'll then tighten that one, then go on to that one, then this one. Then across from there, we go straight over. Again, going to move across here and do the same thing. Okay, so started off with this one, so we'll then go to that one, tighten that one up, move straight across, and I'll tighten this one up, straight across again, tighten this one up, straight across, and straight across. So what that does is when you're tightening that up to the hub, it tightens the wheel up evenly to the hub. If you just go all the way around in a circle, you can make one side really tight and there'll be a gap behind your wheel. As soon as you drive, the wheel will now become loose. If you do it opposites like that, it spreads the force out and it makes the wheel go on nice and evenly. Okay, so then again, just check the torque rest setting. Yeah, I'd already set it. Sock it on, make sure it is on tighten. So if you're unsure what that is, it's lefty loosey, righty tighty. I know it sounds a little bit childish, but it's an easy way to remember. Okay, so before you torque it up, just let the trolley jack down so the wheel is now sitting level. Okay, so the weight of the car's on it again, and I'm just going to proceed to torque the wheel up. With these bigger tyres, there's not much, there's a little bit of a gap, so I'm just literally going to tighten it up. Okay, so when you hear that click, you know it's tight. So then move on to the next one. Then just go all the way around. Same way as you put the nuts on, it's the same way you're going to tighten them up. Okay, so that was just a quick insight on how to put a wheel on. Okay, not many people bring you through this process because normally when they're putting tyres on for a build, they take them to a tyre shop like mine. But while I'm here, thought it'd be a nice little insight for you to see what we're doing. Okay, so now set up a time lapse, and then all we're going to do is bring you back in a second when it's all done and show you what it looks like with the new wheels on. Okay, keep watching. Okay folks, so I hope you enjoyed that video. Stage 1 of Andy's Pajero build. So by the time we have the 3 builds completed, So basically the Nissan done, that just wants a paint job, but it's pretty much done, it's off-road ready, and as you've seen, we've took that some really cool places. The L200's done, just not had the chance to take it out yet because family life getting in the way, hospital appointments, buying prams and all of the baby stuff, so I just haven't had the chance to tax that and get it out for a weekend, but that will be coming shortly. But now we are going to document this Pajero build all the way through. With the L200, I didn't have time, I was working, but now there's going to be me, Andy and Brownie when he can get off work. We'll all be doing this, so we can all take turns a piece of doing the camera, doing the job, stuff like that. So again, this was stage one, wheels and tyres. Okay, so we've gone for a set of tyres. I've already showed you the stickers and the make for them in the video. The research Andy done, they're used more in Australia from what we were gathering. They were from Beartown Tyres. Guy at Beartown Tyres, very good, very knowledgeable, and he won't steer you the wrong way. We went for more of a budget tyre. We were looking at Insta Turbo, Special Track, the horrendous tyres. I don't suggest anyone go for them, but when you're doing more of a budget build, they're an option to go for. But the guy at Beartown Tyres, they steered us in the right direction, and he done these for the same price as what you could get a Insta Turbo Special Track for. And these are a new tyre, they're not a remolded tyre. Okay, I've been Panda, Andy's behind the camera. I hope you've enjoyed this video on fitting the wheels and tyres. Again, if you think this video is relevant to anyone or anyone will find it interesting, please share away, it'd mean a lot. And always drop us a like and a subscribe, and if you want to, click that little bell icon. We're now doing other videos as well as the outdoor stuff and the bushcraft of a Wednesday at 6 o'clock. There's going to be more prepper content coming out as well from my channel. So again, I've been Panda. I hope to see you outdoors sometime. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.